Also, I need more whiskey.
I just wanted to hit the drops.
Welcome to another edition of the Gentleman Fantasy Podcast. I'm Kyle, your host. With me in studio for the first time this year, Robert Rushlow.
It's really different in here. Like, I feel like a lot more pressure. There's like screens and stuff in my face, and it's a lot.
There's absolutely stuff in your face. And since Robert is here and he complains that I don't hit enough drops, Robert is in charge of the drops tonight.
I'm afraid I just blew myself.
That's right. Robert's blowing himself. And to celebrate this occasion, you see, for my birthday, Robert picked me up this beautiful bottle of Preach. It's an imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels from Copper State Brewery, and Rob and I are sharing it tonight, and let me tell you,
It's a lot of flavor.
it's fucking good.
Yeah, it's heavy. I like it.
But without further ado, let's get into this. Rob, we're 2 weeks away from the playoffs in the Gentleman Fantasy League.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
And when it comes to playoffs, Rob, we won't be talking about
I've
playoffs
been-
for you.
I've been out for a couple of weeks. But that, my playoffs were this weekend, this last weekend, and I lost.
Yeah, how did that go for you?
My goal was to take you out. I actually was we were projected to be pretty close there for a while. You had to be just a little nervous when a couple of my guys started going off.
Well, I was going to say, the nervous part happened when, so Rob was, we'll get into that. But Saquon Barkley went off, which helped you in the Guillotine League, but it inversely helped me in the normal league.
It was a loss I was willing to take, ultimately. my last minute Amir Abdullah pickup paid off. He scored a touchdown.
But let's take a look at the playoff picture right now. In the Fonzie division, Depri is up a game on Kral and Steve. But he's actually got 5 less points than Steve, and he's up 166 points on Kral. So I don't really see him being able to be overtaken by Kral. But Luke's 9-3, Steve's 8-4, Kral's 8-4. So if Steve's able to tie Depri, he might be able to leapfrog him with 2 weeks to go. In the Richie division, Rathgaber's up 1 game on Jason, but he's also got 117 points on Jason. He's up 2 games. Actually, he's up 2 games on Joby and a lot of points. I don't think Joby has a chance to get the division here. Same thing for me. I'm up 2 games in the Chachi division and have 120 points on Jimmy. So I would have to lose both games. Jimmy would have to win both games, and he'd have to outscore me by 120 points in the last 2 weeks.
Doesn't seem like
That doesn't seem likely, but, weirder things have happened. So that's your playoff pictures for the divisions. In the wild card, Steve and Kral are basically virtually locked in as far as record goes, because they're both 8-4. Everybody else in a wild card situation is either 6-6 or 5-7. So I'm going to say they're basically in. Also, for the wild card high points, Jason is leading right now at 1108. He's got 10 points on Jimmy at 1098, and he's got 19 points on Andrew, 1089. So that one should be close. That's really the only thing that's kind of up for grabs. Everybody else is basically in. And I got to tell you, this is probably the most boring year
not very It's
for
crazy.
this league of all time. Man, I'm so happy we have the Guillotine League, because if we didn't, I don't know what we'd talk about.
Yeah, it would be tough. Like, what you just talked about here was basically the entire synopsis. Like, there's no interesting blowout matchups or crazy pickups or wild trades. They'll just...
In previous years, 2 weeks before the playoffs, I would have 3 pages of if this happens and that happens, whatever. There's literally 5 of these teams are basically in, and there's 3 guys vying for the 6th spot. And there's been no really interesting trades. There's been 0 interesting waiver pickups because there's been nothing on waivers.
Except my boy Jonnu Smith. But I took him, so nobody important got him.
Right. You just took him off the board for someone who might be able to use him.
Hey, I'm still playing here. That's the honorable thing to do. Even when you're knocked out, you put your best team out there. You keep trying to get better. It's just good sportsmanship.
So that's basically the Ordinary Gentleman League. I don't know what else to say about that. I know there have been guys clamoring for, more gentleman talk. I don't know what you want us to talk about. There's really nothing to talk about in that league. But
it is so weird, I gotta say. The 3 teams that are locked into the playoffs are all from the same division.
yes.
It's like I've never seen that in my life this early. Like they all have the little X next to their rank. Like they're locked
I will
in.
say the playoff lock stuff or the playoff percentages.
I suppose that doesn't factor in your weird...
Yeah, you can't really go off of that. However, I think those 3 teams are pretty much locked in.
It's just wild how heavy that division is with the wins like across the board.
Yeah, the only person that could sneak in that scenario would be as if Jason won out and probably Crawl lost out.
Like, how mad are you if you're crawling? You're like, Christ, I'm 8-4. I'm better than virtually everybody, and I'm in the only division with the 2 guys that are better than me.
Yeah, if you look at total points, it's really kind of a 4-way race for total points. Steve's at 1265. Then we got Depri at 1260, Rathgaber at 1225, and me at 1219. And the next closest person is 1108. So, I mean, the 4 of us are over 100 points ahead of everyone else.
Yeah. And I'm down there still yet to get to my first 1,000.
Yep. But let's move on to the most important part of this week's episode.
Also, I need more whiskey.
We do need more whiskey. We're going to be getting there. But we have a special guest today. It is a special guest we've been hoping and waiting for, and we're thankful he lost at this juncture because we really thought we were going to be interviewing him in the championship week, but things fell apart epically for a team that looked almost unbeatable, and cue that drop, my friend.
Longitude 44 degrees, latitude 088 degrees, northern Wisco.
That's right. We got Mr. Appleton, Rick Seidel, with us on the Hot Stuff Pizzeria hotline this week. Rick, your guillotine team fell apart at the worst time possible. What happened? What went wrong for you?
Well, it's the fantasy football gods. Everything went south on me this week. Between Josh Allen having his bye, I just needed Kyler Murray to not shit the bed this week, and he shit the bed this week. I needed Rob to answer my text messages from the swamp when I told him to swap out Nico Collins for Deebo Samuel at 11:53, and he didn't do it. I needed Henry to get that touchdown that got called back on a procedure penalty, and then Lamar Jackson ran it in the very next play. I needed Kyler Murray to complete that touchdown pass in the end zone when I thought he had it, and I got up to go grab a beer, and I came back, and then he threw another touchdown pass to Marvin Harrison Jr. I went to go grab another beer, and I came back, and they still didn't have a touchdown on the board. It was just one of those weeks.
All right. So in my defense, 2 things on the text message thing. 1, the swing would have been 15 points. You still would have lost if I swapped Nico Collins out for Deebo Samuel. 2, I got that message. Look here, Kyle, at 12:44 p.m. after the game already started. So this is not on me.
No, though, because the Green Bay game started at 3:00.
Right, but
Nico Collins played already. I got you. Okay.
So I couldn't make the move in good faith.
Yeah. So I will say I did think that was kind of interesting because you picked up Nico Collins in the morning, and I was like, he must have intentions on playing him. And then it came time, and I was like, I guess maybe he wasn't intending on playing him. I don't know. I
was intending on playing him. But
now we know the truth. Yeah. So you fell victim to basically the same recipe that has killed off the last 4 people, and that's you ended up having 2 quarterbacks that did not show up in the worst time possible.
Yeah, and really, I mean, it was Kyler Murray. It was just down to that. I have Josh Allen in every single one of my leagues, and I knew this was just going to be a tough spot. It's especially a tough spot when I'm gone hunting too, and I can't do anything about it because I just have no reception on anything. So in the one league, I did have Tua replacing him, that would have been a great move if I would have just picked up Tua instead of that garbage Kyler Murray. The other league, we had Stafford, who still, put up some points, but, and then you read the articles, and of course, Matthew Berry's got Kyler Murray as his number one love quarterback of the week.
Yeah, Kyler is he is an enigma because he can be great. He can score a shitload of points, or he can do this. It just, there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, so basically you got killed on the same theory that I killed myself on with Russell Wilson. All the signs pointed to he should have had a good game. He should have been fine. And then, they just had 6 field goals instead of scoring a touchdown. And then, same thing with Kyler Murray. They didn't score a touchdown in that game.
I disagree with that take. I think Russell Wilson is garbage, and Kyler Murray, I can at least be convinced could be good in certain times.
Well, and and to the other thing, Rick, I gotta say, you got lucky last week. You snuck by. You beat me by 7 points, and J.K. Dobbins scored the game-winning touchdown, but a game-winning touchdown on a 35-yard run with 17 seconds left when all they had to do was just sit on the ball and kick a field goal, which propelled you to get ahead in that matchup. You could have been out last week, and I could have still been in it.
Sounds like Kyle's still upset. I think he was cheering against you pretty hard this week.
Yeah, that was a smart play, though. I am starting a gay team next year, though. So if you guys want to be in, my wife, my 2 kids, and my 2 cats are in. And then if you guys want to get in, it's $100 buy-in, winner takes all. So,
yes, of course. Yes. So the 3.
The cats are going to make awesome trades with.
I was going to say the 4 of you guys
Yeah.
and Rob and I, huh? That's awesome.
I see what
so
he did
far.
there.
Yeah, I know. Now I don't know if Nicole's going to join us, but she is running her own team.
I mean, I can't say one way or another if she is. I don't know what your pillow talk looks like as far as it relates to fantasy. All I know is you talked her out of a trade and then made a trade with her.
I didn't talk her out of the trade. I just offered her a trade. Just so happened I knew she was offered a trade.
I don't know. It's a gray area. It's a tough spot. It was a tough look.
Yeah. It was, but again, it just goes back to one of those weeks. Like I stayed up and I was going to watch that Ravens game on Monday, and right when Derrick Henry ran that touchdown in, and they called it back for that procedure penalty, and the next play Lamar runs it in, and of course, whoever took second there has Lamar.
Yep.
So he got the touchdown and the rushing yards for it. I'm like, I turned off the TV and I went to bed, and that was it. And of course, then I still had a chance. I didn't even realize until the end. Justice Hill ran in a 50-some yard touchdown.
He did.
The game instead of Henry.
I love Justice
so it's just
Hill.
It was one of those weeks. It doesn't really matter what happened. I was just going to get punished by the fantasy gods. I had a pretty damn good team this year in this guillotine league. Even with that.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah, I agree. Your team looked all right. Now, since I have like 4 text message chains with Robert going on at the same time, I'm trying to find a specific message that he sent me. Yes, exactly. Here we go.
Is this my meltdown?
So Sunday night at 8:11 p.m., I get this message from Rob. He goes, "Well, I'm fucked. Nakua's hurt, and Barkley 2 minutes later." Then 8:23. "I told you the Eagles were overdue for a bad game." My reply at 8:46. "I feel like you're overreacting. It's halftime and you're up 30 on Rick. I think you'll be fine. Every yard Henry gets adversely affects the Chargers' defensive total." And then Saquon Barkley goes off for 51 and Jalen Hurts has 19. Together, they scored 70 points in that game.
Okay, in my defense, so when I started panicking,
You panicked at 8:15. The game started at 7:30.
listen, I watched the game. Okay, did either of you watch the game?
I watched the second half.
Okay, so in the first half, there was this 2-minute span where Puka Nacua landed on the shoulder that he injured and hobbled off the field. I'm like, shit, Puka's hurt.
Puka finished with 13.2 points, by the way.
Yeah, retrospect, right? Okay, listen, all right. I was watching. Puka gets hurt. He goes off the field. I'm like, fuck, Puka's out. All right, so it's just Hurts and Barkley. No shit, like 2 minutes, real time later, Saquon doesn't get up after a run. He's like just on the field on all fours, just looking at the ground. I'm like, this cannot be happening. Saquon and Puka are hurt, and I'm down, and I only have Jalen Hurts. And that's when I started having this panic attack. I'm like, I have 3 players. I thought I was good. I just watched 2 of them get hurt in real time, 2 minutes. I was like, there's no way. I just thought I thought it was the end for me.
Yes. 85 points of his 138 points later, he was all right.
Yes. Well, they came back in, but they looked very hurt, okay? But I should have remembered what they say in the Ringer podcast. If they look like they're devastatingly injured, they're fine.
They're not.
And if they just kind of jog off the field, they're out for the season.
Yep, pretty much. So to cap off your guillotine season, Rick, what was your favorite and least favorite thing about this guillotine league, and would you do it again in the future?
Well, it was great. I thought it was so much fun.
Yeah, we have to do this.
My least favorite thing was probably, picking up that piece of garbage, Kyler Murray. When I didn't need to. Gosh, I just can't believe. And it's like Seattle. At least last week, who's the Niners quarterback?
Brock Purdy.
What's his face? Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy got 40 yards and a rushing touchdown against Seattle the week prior. Connors and Murray can't even muster up 15 yards rushing and a touchdown against the vaunted Seattle defense.
Well, Brock Purdy's an amazing
James
quarterback.
Conner got 8 yards of rushing against them. I mean, they just couldn't do anything. It was unbelievable. But no, this was just a whole lot of fun. It's just a completely different way to experience. I'm just, it was a lot of fun. I'd definitely do this again.
And the thing is, everyone who loses, there's one thing, or maybe more than one thing that you second guess every time. And it's the dancing queen herself.
So it is funny. Rick sent me that message, and I was like telling him, like, oh, it already started. Kylan's already played. He's like, I sent that at 11. I was in a swamp hoping it would get out. And at 1:16 p.m., I say to Rick, you should be fine. Either me or Joby are losing this week. Yep. That did not age well.
So joining us again for the second time in 2 weeks. And I think that's more than you've joined us in the entirety of the 7-year podcast run.
It's a full studio.
My beautiful wife, Nicole. Nicole, do you have anything to say about this guillotine league?
You seem to be poised to win it all. You have all the money left. You score the highest every week. Seems too good to be true.
That's probably because it is. Because I feel like at this point, like, everybody has a really, really good team. So I am talking.
Don't be modest. Tell us what you really think.
That is what I think. Like, I feel like I did have to step on throats this week. I did not make 2 trades with Jason that he wanted me to make with him. It was his birthday. And I did tell him I'd think about it, but his wide receiver he wanted to give me was shit. So I said no.
Yeah, but that's all he's got left.
Take notes, Joby.
I know. But who knows? Jason might pull out another win this week. So we'll wait and see.
I mean, I'm losing next week because that's 4th place. That's where I finish. That's my thing. 4th place is my place. So I'm not even worried about this upcoming week. I might not even check the matchups.
Now, do you want to comment? There's been questions here about whether you're running your own team. Do you want to comment on this?
Do you want me to comment on this?
What am I allowed to say? She's like, we didn't discuss what I can say and what I can't.
I'm just teasing.
You're not helping me here.
I know I'm not. That's why I'm doing it. No, I do run my own team. I do. Kyle and I do talk about it. Not necessarily. I don't say, "Oh, what should I do this week?" I'll just say, "Oh my gosh, look at I have this choice or this choice," and then he'll show me how the app works.
And then he interjects with his opinion, anyways.
Yes, but that doesn't mean I take it, because if I would have some weeks, I may have been out. So I am doing this by myself.
Well,
now the good news is I put up the money for this league, so when she wins, I'm just taking the money.
I thought it all goes in one pot. I thought that's how we run this.
Oh, okay. See, I knew it.
That's what
there
you call
we
it,
go.
yeah.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Truth comes out.
The truth comes out, isn't that?
Can't cut that out of the pod. Rick's a witness.
Who has the most money? There's nobody with a ton of money though, right? So somebody's got like $10.
Just
and that's
Nicole.
The high.
Yeah, Nicole, you have what? How much do you have now? 9?
9. I have 9.
Nicole has 9, Carl has 5, and
I
what,
have
Rob,
2.
You have 2, and I think Joby's got 1. Carl maybe has 2.
Jason has 0 for like.
Yeah,
Well, everyone's aware that Jason has 0.
yeah. Nicole's
Jason's
getting whoever she
rostering
wants.
2 kickers that are on IR right now.
No, how, literally, how does that happen?
Well, I mean, he's Jason, and he made it happen.
Hilariously, I have my kicker on buy coming up. And I have to figure out with my $2 if I'm actually going to pick one up or not.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you guys are kind of all down to crunch time right now, where it's almost if you spend money on a kicker defense, you could hamper yourself in the future.
Honestly, I don't think I'm going to pick up a kicker. I think I'm just going to, because that $1 could be a top 10 player off of waivers. Like there's the scoring difference might be
there's
such
no way
that
you'd kick up a kicker at that point.
right. So I might just roll without one. Ironically, the week I'm supposed to take 4th place.
Just say, but what if that kicker is what keeps you from moving on, though?
I know it's tough stuff, man. I got $2. What would you do if you were not eliminated?
Well, I mean,
and only had
Kyler Murray,
$2?
he's due.
Nicole's wondering if you have a good wide receiver because she's got 2 kickers.
I have a bunch of them.
And by the way, her 2 kickers are
very
like
good.
top 5 kickers.
But the problem is there's so many good wide receivers on waivers. It's like you talk about the step on throats thing. It would be silly for you to take one of my wide receivers, even my best wide
Actually,
receiver.
I don't really think there are that many good wide receivers
There
out on
aren't,
waivers
actually.
right now.
There's only one.
Come on.
There's only one.
Isn't like Zay Flowers out there and a
Yeah,
bunch
but
of
he's
guys?
not-
Yeah, but is he usable right now? Look at what's left for rosters. I mean, Rick, what do you think? Is there anybody out there that, I mean, aside from all the players that were dropped on your team, which you clearly liked, but
Yeah, there's Nico Collins, T. Higgins, Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf, Zay Flowers,
is the death.
Garrett Wilson,
Greg Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, Malik Neighbors, like they're all Tyreek Hill, they're all out there. I can't offer that much better.
I mean, that's true.
Why wouldn't she just let me suffer? Why? Yep, see?
So the Derrick Henry thing's kind of a conundrum right now because,
Well, Nicole's just going to get him.
I can't play all my cards here, but
yeah, shut up.
What do you care, Kyle?
he has a buy coming
$3.
up,
You have
people.
Derrick Henry.
He's got a buy.
Yeah, but you'd keep him on your bench to keep him off someone else's team.
No, that was the other thing. Yeah, because Derrick Henry's on bye right now, right?
No, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, on
he's
week
playing.
14. Week 14, he's on bye.
But you wouldn't
Yeah,
want
week
another
14
team
he's on
having
bye.
him. He's one of the best running backs.
So that's a question you got to ask yourself.
I know.
Or you could just let someone else get him. I don't
I
know.
still have time to put in more waivers.
I have $2. I ain't going to get shit.
I think she just divulged that she didn't have a bid in for him.
Now I do.
I mean, nobody listens to this before waivers hit anyways. I'm not sure anybody listens to it at all. I remind Rick, he's like, oh, yeah, I didn't get to that yet. I still have like 6 or 7 podcasts, and if I have time, I'll get to yours.
Well then,
This is good.
I'm having fun
That is
being the
very
drop
good.
guy
That's-
today. I got to
that's-
remember to do it.
so speaking of preaching, Nicole, since we're here, let's move on to our next segment here. Since it's Thanksgiving, we are going to do a special segment, things we are thankful for. And since you're here, would you like to give a couple of things, fantasy-wise, that you're either thankful or
I thought
not?
we were just going to be real
Thank-
world here.
No, we don't want to talk about real things.
Yeah. No one cares how blessed you actually are.
Are there any fantasy things that you're thankful for or not thankful for?
Do you want me to mushy gushy here, or do you want me to
That I beat my husband.
What I want you to do
in
is speak into
my
the microphone.
first year playing fantasy football, proving that you don't have to have
Technically,
talent.
it's not my first time playing fantasy football. Years and years ago, I was in a league, and I did awful. And then I swore I would never do it again. And here we are. So what I am grateful for about fantasy football, I feel like it gave Kyle and I one more thing to chat about every once in a while, which I always thought fantasy football was pretty stupid, and it can be a lot of fun. So I guess shame on me a little for...
She's sitting on the couch on Sunday, this last Sunday, just like agonizing over her team, and I'm like, listen,
Glued
you
to the
gotta-
phone watching the
it is-
matchups.
Oh, no, we were down here.
Yeah, she's like, oh my god, my team sucks. I'm like, Nicole, it is 12:07. Nobody has done anything yet.
Oh, give me a little more than that.
At least I waited till Sunday night to panic.
No. So I was playing blocks and stuff with the kids on the floor, and we're watching Red Zone, and I'm telling them, I'm like, all right, guys, mommy needs this guy to score a touchdown. And then within like 3 minutes, we had when were we watching? All these things happened, and I scored like 20 points within a matter of
Yeah, so
whatever.
Nicole was a benefit of the Commandos.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
And that scoring barrage at the end. Terry McLaurin, I think had
86-yard touchdown at the
Yeah,
end.
so that was like a 15-point swing right there.
Yeah, that's the thing with guys like McLaurin though. Like that's the boomer bust. It's amazing when he gets it, but he can be pretty quiet sometimes too.
But I feel like that's what's hard right now, because some of these people, they come up with, like, they have these big plays, and then you have your consistent people, but every week it's so different, and depending upon who they're playing, and I don't know, it's a lot of thinking.
I'm just gonna keep hitting that.
More and more, huh?
We're learning.
All right.
That's what I'm grateful for.
Final shot here, Nicole. Anything else before we move on?
Pardon?
Party shots.
No, I got nothing. I don't think I got nothing.
All right, she's got nothing. Thank you for joining us here tonight, Nicole. You go get snuggled into bed.
Ooh.
Fortunately, we have Rick here for the Thanksgiving three-way, so it's not going to be you, me, and Robert this year.
All right. Thank you.
Well, I mean, just for the podcast. I mean,
I Kyle was not going to freeway with you.
It's a good thing that probably didn't get picked up on the microphones.
dang. No Thanksgiving thray for us.
All right, none of that for us.
Hopefully
No
you're still
drop
in
for that?
Hopefully you're still in the running for a two-way.
Maybe we'll find
Better
out.
wrap this up quick.
Whew. All right, let's go around the horn here. Things we're thankful or not thankful for. Rob, what do you got?
Well, I thought long and hard about this. And I'd like to say I'm thankful for some of the lessons I've learned this year playing fantasy football, where
All right,
we've
do
been
tell.
doing this for 20 years, and I feel like I'm still learning things. So I'd like to thank Travis Etienne for teaching me the life lesson that when I'm in a bidding war with Steve for a running back, that I should not be stingy, just spend the extra couple bucks and get Derrick Henry like I meant to.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Yeah, that would have been. I wanted Henry badly. Steve just kept bidding, and I was like, I don't think he's going to stop. I just give it up. I'm like, I can get ETN, and I did not realize the stark difference there would be between the two of them.
It's funny. My original goal, because for some reason all the experts were down on Derrick Henry and they were down on Saquon Barkley. My original goal was to try to get both of those guys, and I ended up with one in our gentleman league. If things would have been different, if I would have gotten both, if both of those guys would have been on a team in any league this year,
Yeah,
you're literally just bulldozing everyone. I
right.
think.
That's ridiculous. I didn't have Barkley on my radar too high. I would have taken him eventually, but yeah, the Henry thing I was all over. I thought that was going to be good, but couldn't spend the money, so I got to learn to be spendy. Another thing that I'd like to say I appreciate is what?
All right, and we're going to move on to Rick. Rick, what do you have? Do you have something you're thankful for or not thankful for?
I am. So back to your point there. We do have a league. So in my other fantasy football league, which is a nose picker league, when it comes to drafting, it's a snake draft league. Last year, I just want to I can be correct in my decisions. I had Barkley and Henry last year because I was at the tail end of the draft and I wanted to load up on running back. So I drafted Barkley and Henry last year. Didn't help me a whole lot. Dog shit. Another guy in our draft this year, though, Josh, actually has Barkley and Henry this year.
Oh, man.
And is destroying people on a weekly basis. So, sometimes, you can pick out the talent. You just might be off a year. But I was just glad to see that, I can pick out talent. It just maybe not now, maybe next year. So I had Garrett Wilson in every single one, all three of my leagues. So, maybe get Garrett Wilson a little bit higher in your drafts next year.
When they actually have a good quarterback.
Yeah, right. Here's something I'm thankful for. Since we're piggybacking on the running back talk here, I'm thankful for the Giants' ineptitude, because if it wasn't for them Saquon Barkley would not be playing for the Philadelphia Eagles right now, and he wouldn't be having a beautiful year for me and
me,
for Robert.
I'm all on that. Hell yeah.
So thank you, New York Giants. You guys are terrible.
So bad. The Giants are so fucking bad. I actually like Dayball. I don't think he's a terrible coach, but there's just something wrong there.
The Daniel Jones situation. Boy, did that escalate fast.
Yeah, he's currently playing for the who picked him up
for the Vikings.
Yeah,
The Vikings. Yeah.
Interesting note there. I mean, I thought, we'll see what happens with that.
it can't be much. I imagine he'll just be a third stringer. Like, didn't they draft that QB that got hurt and they're hoping will be good? I don't know where Jones fits into any of this.
They got McCarthy or whatever.
Right.
Why would they have Daniel? Whatever. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
Unless he was just dirt cheap and they were just like, fuck it, we'll just pick him up just because.
Rob, what's your next thing here?
All right. I'm thankful for all the wide receivers. Getting back to my life lessons. They're teaching me very quickly that they're a dime a dozen. There's no rhyme or reason to who's going to be good and bad. And I should quit thinking so hard about it. That the receivers that were supposed to be good, I think many of the top 10 ones did not pan out. Some of them we didn't even think were going to play, like Jamar Chase. And then all of a sudden Jamar Chase decides, yeah, I'm good, I'm playing, and becomes fucking amazing.
So the Ringer Fantasy Football Show did a awesome rundown of like the wide receivers drafted from like number 6 through number 20. And it was like miss. Like everyone missed. Because everyone's either hurt, sucks, doesn't have a quarterback. It's just an absolute chaos. And then this year, for instance, all of the running backs are healthy. It's really weird. This isn't normal. It's going to swing back. I am drafting 9 wide receivers next year.
You can have them, because I'm just going to go the other way and just wait for the Juwan Jennings of the world to just pop up out of nowhere. And the Jonnu Smiths, Rick, who once again had an awesome week. Me and Rick got in a Jonnu Smith versus Njoku disagreement on waivers, and I'm totally winning that. But yeah, they're just out there. I just got to wait, And that's something I'll talk about in a little bit too.
All right, Rick, what do you got? Anything else?
Jonnu Smith didn't play in a blizzard on Thursday night either. But the other thing that I'm thankful for is that I'm in other standard fantasy football leagues as well with Josh Allen. So I am thankful, very thankful for that. I have 2 other leagues with Josh Allen that I'm still riding into the playoffs. So still watching lots of football.
Josh Allen's definitely someone to be thankful for. I have someone I'm not thankful for, but while we're doing the segue here with the Browns game in the blizzard, I just want to say randomly, I am also thankful for Jameis Winston, because have you seen some of his interviews? This guy is insane. The shit that he's willing to say in front of a camera is unbelievable. I did not realize this guy was that entertaining.
Yeah, it's like the intensity that like Kirk Cousins would bring to an interview, except it's actually cool and it's awesome.
It's like he's completely riffing the whole time.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Him and McDaniel, the coach from the Dolphins.
Oh yeah,
those are my 2 favorite people right now for the NFL as far as that goes. But I am.
What do they call McDaniel? What's his nickname? The DJ.
The DJ.
Yeah.
The DJ McDaniel.
So I am not thankful for Kral and his bullshit moves. There's a lot of mistakes that I made on the week that I'd lost out of the Guillotine League. But one mistake that I didn't make was the fact that Kral decided that he needed to drop the number 1 kicker for the number 2 kicker when I had a waiver claim in on him. So I am not thankful that Kral, has his head up the kicker's ass all the time. Kral, I'm not thankful for you this year.
I'm afraid I just blew myself.
You could have bid another dollar on the kicker. I'm kidding.
He was a kicker.
All right. Well, back to my appreciation for lessons learned. I'm going to thank Kyle Pitts. Thank you so much, Kyle Pitts. who happens to be a top 10 tight end right now, by the way. That's how fucking bad tight end is.
Stupid is, stupid does, sir.
Yeah. The tight end position, I'm just going to say it right now. I am not going to spend more than a single fucking dollar on the tight end position for the rest of my fantasy auction career. Every draft we sit down at the little horseshoe table and everyone goes nuts for the Kelseys and the Andrews of the world. I'm just going to sit back. I might just leave and go get a beer. Yeah. I'm going to get whoever's dead last in line and just wait for the next, whoever the fuck. Taysom Hill.
Yeah,
I'll just get him.
Smith's out there. Taysom Hill's out there. You got
Mike Gesicki. Take
Tucker
your pick.
Kraft.
Yeah.
Why not?
Doesn't
Fuck
matter.
it. Who cares?
So stupid. There was a time when they mattered. They don't anymore. They're as random as it gets, man.
Rick, you have one more for us?
I like how we're pretending like Rob isn't going to spend $27 on Jonnu fucking Smith next year in his fucking auction draft.
He's on to me.
Also,
I am thankful that Matthew Berry has a job writing shitty love-hate columns that are not funny or interesting and have things like Kyler Murray is his first choice in his love-hate column and in the love section, that no matter what happens to me in my life, I can get a job writing crappy columns about fantasy football that I know nothing about, just like that douchebag.
I will say ESPN probably cut bait at the right time on that one. However, ESPN fucking sucks because their fantasy analysis is all their people are just annoying now. Like, I have no interest in listening to any of those people, but they're
all terrible.
They had at one time with Barry and Ravitz the most entertaining fantasy football show of all time.
Yeah, it was great then. Yeah, I feel like Barry's got so much going on now that he doesn't have the focus he used to. Like, Barry used to be fucking dialed in. Like, he thought about everything fantasy. Now I feel like it's just some funny one-liners, and I like this guy with no, like, context or analysis behind
and then,
it.
Yeah, and if you go the exact opposite of that with ESPN is like
hardcore data driven.
Yeah, hardcore data, and it's like, I don't fucking care, but like, I just want some funny things.
Right. This last year, this time at week 3, Devon Achane ran for this, so I'm predicting that's going to happen.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Okay.
Devon Achane played against the freaking Browns one time and scored a 55-yard touchdown, so he'll do 3 of them today.
Yeah, it's a lot. I do still like Stefania Bell's stuff because I feel like she's one of the only people that really gets into the weeds with injury stuff. She's like really wired into these teams and seems to get the information ahead of a lot of people on whether or not they're going to play or what their likelihood to actually play is versus listening to those bullshit press conferences. So that's still kind of good.
Well,
the 2,000-word intro into all of Barry's columns about somebody that grew up in a railroad car, that
I grew up in a middle class family.
So I will tell you that was a thing back in like
the Devontae Adams thing.
Like the late 2000s, early 2010s. Like Bill Simmons did that, and I used to go straight to ESPN.com once a week to read Simmons' column, and it would be like, they used to have a thing on ESPN.com would tell you how many minutes the read was, and every one of Simmons' reads was, 10, 15, whatever minutes. And I used to specifically go there on my BlackBerry, like on my lunch break, to read his like 15-minute column. Our world is not designed for that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the
But Barry's still doing it.
Yeah. Pandering to
Simmons was
overtime.
funny or interesting.
Yeah. back when Simmons was a writer.
Yeah, he is
right. Yeah, when he was a writer, yes.
My last thing I'm thankful for, I am thankful for the Guillotine League. I mean, I am extremely thankful for the Guillotine League because as we addressed earlier in this podcast, the normal gentleman, League of Ordinary Gentlemen has been boring as fuck this year. My team's been good. Robert's team's been out for 6 weeks now.
Yeah, I have nothing to play for.
We really would have nothing to talk about at this point because there's nothing really going on in that league. So I'm thankful that we have the Guillotine League this year. And God damn it, I think we need to make that an every year occurrence in our lives.
Absolutely. I don't think we're going to have a problem filling it moving forward. I think
I think
everybody
it'll be
that
easier
played
to fill it, yeah.
even some of the guys that were out in the first couple weeks, I feel like that just made them more driven to play it again. And like, I know guys like Los, he's definitely back in. And
Yeah.
we got some guys on the outside, like, Benny and some other guys that said, yeah, I'll fucking do that.
Yeah,
So
hell yeah. So I think it's never going to be a problem filling that league going forward.
we
even
can
though
add more players than we have, right? We have what, 12? We could have a max of what, 16?
You can go up to 18.
18? Okay.
But then you'd have to play every week.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, so that was kind of so I was trying to keep the important weeks out of bye weeks for the last couple weeks of the season. And I wanted to make sure we got to 16 teams. Next year, I think we could go 18 and just do one elimination every week if we wanted to. 18 teams draft wise, you're real thin.
Yeah.
Real thin.
Well, I mean, maybe you find all the good players then, because you have to draft way down
Yeah,
the board where
I don't
they're all
know.
at,
You have anything else you're thankful for, Rob, or should we move on?
I'm ready to go. Let's get it. Let's get on with it.
All right. It is time. What everyone's been waiting for. The one thing we do every Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving three-way.
Oh, have you not heard? It was my understanding that everyone had heard.
Heard what? Brian, don't!
Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird. Ba-bird, a word, 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 Brian, don't you know about the bird? Well, Peter's gonna tell you about the bird. Well, a bird, bird. Ba-bird, a word, well, a bird. Surfing.
Oh, yeah, that's it. It's the Thanksgiving three-way, everyone. You guys have been waiting all year for this. We are ready. We're going to do this. Rob, we have 3 games on Thanksgiving, 3 huge games. We got the Bears versus the Lions, the Cowboys versus the Giants, and then Thursday night, Dolphins versus the Packers in Lambeau. What do you have on your Thanksgiving three-way?
It is a great one. I'm pretty excited. So the line for the Bears-Lions game in Detroit is 9.5, and I think that's a little high. So I'm actually taking the Bears there. I think they're probably still going to lose, but I think it'll be less than 9.5. So I'm taking that. And with the Giants-Cowboys, I wanted to take the points for the Cowboys. I couldn't do it, so I'm just taking the money line, taking the Cowboys to win.
Well, what is the line on that one? That's like 1.5.
3.5.
3.5, okay.
Yeah, 1.5, I probably would have jumped on it, but 3.5, I could just see it being a mess. Who knows? And then Dolphins Packers, I'm going to keep with what worked for me last week to make the Packers win, and I'm going to take the money line on the Dolphins. They're getting plus odds, 155. So I'm going to take the Dolphins to win and hope that they don't.
Right, because it's a win either way for you, right?
Yep, and I'm getting plus 657 there. And yeah, that's my Thanksgiving Treyway.
All right, so I promised Rob that I wouldn't make the same bets as him. In retrospect, I don't think I would have made the same bets as him, but I am afraid of the Cowboys-Giants game, so I decided to go kind of off the reservation here, and I am taking the overs in all 3 games.
All 3 of them?
All 3. Bears-Lions over 48, Giants-Cowboys over 37.5, Packers-Dolphins over 48. I think the Bears-Lions game, there's going to be scoring. I can see those defenses not doing a whole lot. The Packers-Dolphins game, I think people are concerned about the Dolphins playing in the elements in Lambeau. I think both teams are just going to score here because it's cold. Sometimes it's weird that you see some of these games where you would think it's cold, so there isn't going to be scoring, but it turns out there's a lot of scoring in these games because nobody wants to tackle anyone. So that's kind of the way I look at it. And the Giants-Cowboys, I don't have a feeling for that game at all, but I think they both suck enough that they could go over 37.5.
So you're just thinking points for days.
We're scoring points on Thursdays.
Oh my God! We're having a fire sale!
All right. I'll take you losing that bet to stay on top of you, and yeah, it's fantastic. Good work, guys.
And since we're doing a Thanksgiving three-way, and Rick is now our third party here, Rick, do you have any thoughts on bets for this three-way?
I actually like Kyle's overs there. I was looking at these. I'm like, I like the overs on all of these games as well. But I think Lions are going to destroy the Bears. I actually like the Cowboys against the Giants. This is like a classic Mike McCarthy. Nothing is on the line. I'm going to destroy a shitty team by 40 points
to save my job.
We're going to make a statement. Yeah, Mike McCarthy, we're making a statement.
Yeah, we're going to take a stand here against this fucking garbage team, and I'm going to go to jail. Like, we can play with anybody. We beat the Giants by 43.
Absolutely, and that gets McCarthy a 1-year extension, right?
Oh, my God.
Exactly. Like, this is just classic McCarthy, just garbage. And then I hate to say it, but actually, I agree with you because the weather's going to be bad, but it's not going to be like blustery or snowy or anything. Like, it's just going to be a little cold, and I think the Dolphins can score points on that Packers defense a little bit. But now that Waddle and Hill is getting healthy and A-Chain is getting going and Tua's not totally concussed yet, as long as they can keep him upright into the fourth quarter.
And Jonnu Smith.
I think they can cover the three. Yeah, Jonnu Smith is going to go for $48 in next year's draft.
Well, if Robert doesn't do it, Depri will.
Going up $16. Yeah.
Yes, and to your point there, everyone's making a big deal about the cold weather. In the media around Green Bay, it's not like real cold weather yet. I don't understand. Like, I mean, it's colder than it has been, but it's not like January 2nd. We're at Lambeau, and you can't open a beer and turn it over and have the beer come out.
Yeah, we've been to those games.
Yeah, when you're out there running, you won't notice 19 degrees versus anything else.
Plus,
it's
none
not
of
like
these
the wind
players
chill is 30 below.
Yeah, none of these guys are rookies either. Like they know what it's like to play in the cold. It's not going to shock them at any weird level.
So that one, I think I think that one's getting blown out of proportion. So that's the Thanksgiving 3-way. I have the overs in all 3 games. Rob has the Bears plus 9.5, Cowboys and Dolphins money line. There it is, your Thanksgiving
Not again.
3-way.
No, don't.
Oh, have you not heard? It was my understanding that everyone had heard.
Heard what? Brian, don't!
Oh, well, a bird, bird, bird.
That's right, the bird is the word.
Okay, glad you got that. I was like, we're not doing that whole thing again, are we?
All right. Now I am ready.
Last week I only missed 1 of my 6, by the way. That was pretty good.
Oh, we totally forgot to mention that. Let's backtrack here. I apologize. I fucked up. Not that anyone cares about all our losses. I had a 7-team teaser, 6 points. It looked
too
like
good to be true.
It was unbelievable. You couldn't screw it up. And boy, I lost 4 out of 7. It wasn't good. Rob, on the other hand, did a 6-team parlay and hit on 5 out of the 6. He picked the San Francisco 49ers over the Packers.
I thought Purdy was playing.
To give him credit, it was a day before they announced Purdy wasn't going to be playing. But once a bet's in, man.
That's in. I can't argue, but I gotta say, nailed those fucking lines. That was nice.
Yeah, he even nailed the 2 college games.
Yeah, well, those were easy. Those were like minus 500 to throw in there, but
anyway, all right. Moving on to our special Thanksgiving segment. I wanted to do something special since Rob is in studio, and it's something that's near and dear
nothing's gonna fall
to Rick's heart as well. Now, since we had a nice glass of whiskey at my birthday party a couple weeks back.
No.
We're going to be doing a special premium whiskey taste test. Now, I was able to acquire a few bottles from Aaron and Ed, and I would like us to just have a little whiskey taste test here, and let's decide which ones we think are the best.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, does that sound good?
It sounds scary. I'm afraid of what's going to come out of the drawer.
Rick is our whiskey connoisseur here, right? Rick, you like
Yeah,
a good
I can't
whiskey.
wait for Rob. I can't wait for Rob to love the Kesslers.
Really brings me back to my childhood.
So, so I am like, I'm not a good whiskey person here. I like to put an ice cube and swish it around and let that ice cube, let out the flavors a little bit. So Rob, can you open up that freezer right there?
Sure.
Right there, you're gonna see a small cup. Can you grab me a ice cube?
Oh, wow. You have just literally a few cubes in a cup here.
So I did that on purpose.
All the ice you have?
No, I put them in a cup for tonight. Would you like one as well?
Sure.
All right.
I was afraid of what was in the cup. What's in the cup?
All right. So first up, we have.
Oh, wow. They're wrapped and everything.
Yes. And Rick, can you verify? We do not know what this is, correct?
Looks like Driftless Glen.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like it does. Yeah.
All right. So here we go. We're pouring them. This is going to be like one of those videos you see on Facebook that takes like 45 minutes for them to get to the, you know what I mean? Like 45 minutes to get to the end of like the stupid simplest thing, and they make all these pit stops on the way, and like all they're doing is just like unwrapping a present, but there's like 40 minutes of like someone behind them like, oh yeah, distracting them and shit. This is what it's going to be here. Okay. I poured kind of a lot on this one. I apologize.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's why we pay for producers on this podcast.
Yep.
That's right. So here we go with our first whiskey taste. Rob, cheers.
Kyle just downing it like
Yeah, you straight up took it like a shot.
like a shot of McGillicuddy's in college.
That one tastes kind of potent.
Yeah, but it's actually decent on the end. It was hot on the when you first drank it was really hot, but then it finished with a nice flavor.
That one's all right.
Yeah, we'll go with all right.
Okay, that one's all right. The next one here. This is a tall bottle, as you can see by the wrapping paper.
Tall bottle.
by the tall bottle.
I was trying to figure out that they're not snowmen. So since it's almost Christmas, I had to use wrapping paper.
I got a feeling I got a feeling what your kids' presents are all going to be wrapped in. Abominable snowman wrapping paper.
Yeah, you better make sure that's not the stuff you use for the Santa gifts.
No, it can't at this point. Evan did help me wrap these.
Kids, you just buy that in bulk.
He had his kids wrapping these bottles. They have no idea what's going on.
All right,
number 2.
Okay, all right. Cheers.
Cheers.
How'd you feel about that one?
A lot smoother. That was more of a weeded flavor for sure.
Okay.
Lighter.
Did you like that one better, or did you think the first one was better?
I think I like the first one better, but I like a hotter flavor. I like a lot of spice on my drink.
I actually thought this one was a little bit smoother, and I liked that a little bit more.
All right, fair enough.
So, then the third one here. Now we're going from order of shortest to tallest bottle. This is a very tall bottle, as you can see, Rick. Now, those of you at home, you can't tell, but this is a tall bottle.
You're gonna get wrapping paper in
Yeah.
your drink.
Hold on.
There you go. Well, I know it's not Malort because it's not the shape of a Malort bottle, so I think I'm safe here. Unless they make a special version of it.
All right. You ready?
This one smells the best so far.
Ooh, this one does smell. This one smells great. That was the best one.
Yeah, that's easily really nice. That was good.
Yeah, that was the best one we had. Absolutely.
I know what that one is because I saw the top of the cork.
Damn it.
But it's very good.
What is it?
Penelope.
Fuck. That one was really good.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So, in order, put them in order of your favorite to least favorite.
I like, obviously, the third one the best, and then the first one, and then the second.
All right. Moment of truth. Rick, obviously he gave away...
What did you think,
He
Rick?
gave away the Penelope. But from the bottles in the wrapping paper, what was your thoughts?
Well, obviously, taller is better, right?
At this point, yes.
Is the first one Driftless Glen? Because I thought the same thing when you showed
the
that
square bottle shape. I was like, it's either Jack Daniels or Driftless Glen.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Jack Fire. After I said it, I was like, oh no.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. So here we go. This is a bottle of Penelope toasted straight bourbon.
Very nice. Yeah, the marshmallow toast.
Aged 4 years. It's a 55% alcohol by volume, and it was donated by Aaron Danielson.
Fantastic pick. It was very tasty. Penelope's stuff is all really good.
That was my favorite one by far. When Aaron dropped it off, just smelling it, I could tell I was going to like it.
Yeah, the Penelope stuff, even their like cheaper ones are really good. They're all fantastic.
All right, what was your second favorite one?
I thought number 1 was better, but I like a spicier whiskey.
It was the Jack Fire, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one here. Oh, by the way, that Penelope, that's a $70 bottle of whiskey.
Nice.
Okay. Our second one here.
Oh, okay.
This is a J.P. Weiser's 22-year-old cask strength port cask Canadian whiskey.
That explains the flavor because it was hot and it was good.
Yeah, 20 years. Wow.
Yeah, so this one came from Ed. It was donated by him. It's a 59% alcohol by volume.
Holy shit, it's Ed.
That's right. Thank you, Ed, for that one. That one's a little.
It was hot. I loved it.
A little hot on the taste, but I have definitely had that one. I've had this one here for a while. You throw an ice cube in there.
You let it mellow out
and
a
you
little
let
bit
that thing
and
mellow
open up.
out, and then it's very good that way.
You don't typically drink a cask strength just
the way
raw.
we did it, right. Yeah. Okay. So, and the last one, okay, Rick.
Your second favorite, my last favorite.
I liked this one. You didn't like this one.
No, I thought it was fine. It was just a little, it was okay. It was it was very smooth. It was more of a weedier flavor.
This last one was donated by Steph Danielson.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
And this, my friend, is Jepson's bourbon.
This from the makers of Malort.
It's not bad, right?
It's okay. It's not impressive.
You want to know a funny? This is a $30 bottle. This is a $30 bottle of whiskey.
You could have got anything else.
So the Weiser's was $80. I did not expect the Jepsons to be a $30 bottle. I thought it was like a $10 bottle. But I like it. It's not bad.
I like how you shoot those at the trash can. Like if you hit the top of it, it'll go in. And
Yeah,
it just bounces off.
there's a lid on the trash can.
You could have just fastballed it right at the garbage can, and the same thing would have happened.
All right. And Rob, just because I've got a special.
Is that LSD?
Absolutely. This is a special.
Week to quit amphetamines.
This is a special one here for us to try.
I'm genuinely afraid.
It is.
I still have to drive. What?
Yeah. Well, you're not driving far.
This isn't just for the people at home. That he pulled out like a little medical vial.
I did.
And pulled the top off it. Like I don't know if it's just rubbing alcohol.
This is your favorite straight
hallucinogenic.
This is you will immediately, the moment you smell and taste this, it'll bring you back to a time in your life.
Oh God.
It's got to be Aquavit.
God damn it. Yep, it sure is.
Yep, that was Dill Aquavit. Would you like to finish it off, Rob?
Oh, come on. Ugh.
Ryan once threw up pizza.
Ryan's puking. So
all over a snowbank after drinking a half bottle of Dill Aquavit and then eating a whole stick of butter.
Woof. Yeah, we were playing we just talked about this game earlier. So when you're alone with 6-7 guys in a cabin and it's snowing out, you come up with creative ways to get fucked up. And I'm not one of those people. I came up with an extremely simple way. Deck of cards, 2 people, and the low card takes a shot. And we went, Ryan and I, with the Aquavit, and I have never been... I couldn't believe how many times I won. It was
pretty insane.
It was obnoxious. Like I was taking a shot here and there, but it was like, no shit, it was like a 1-to-6 ratio. Ryan was getting absolutely destroyed, and I was on the fringe of being like, dude, I think we're going to take you to the hospital if we don't stop playing this game.
Yeah. And so we were at an Airbnb that had like posted very specific rules about not having like wild parties, which I think they all do. And it was the middle of a blizzard. We ordered like 8 pizzas from like a Papa John's nearby.
Yep.
Because, it was snowing.
And it was like the only option. There wasn't a lot
thing
to pick
that
up.
was open on a Friday night in Somerset. And I had gone downstairs to call, because I'm a good husband.
Oh, yeah.
I went downstairs to call my wife, then fiance, and to just like check in with her. Say, yeah, we made it all the way across the state safe. And I went downstairs literally for 5 minutes, and I was the one who rented this Airbnb, and I came back upstairs to everyone being like, dude, Ryan threw up in the snow, and he is now shirtless, smoking a cigar on the back deck.
Everyone's laughing and riding and cornholing except Buster.
Yeah, and you felt like you missed out on something.
I missed a lot in 5 minutes.
It's all it takes when you leave us alone.
But I mean, that was the beginning of my bachelor party. Ed didn't leave the bathroom for 3 days, and we drank barrel-aged beers in a cave.
It was great. It was a fantastic party, all together. I would give back the driving in intense snow part in a giant van, but besides that portion,
and we made Rob drive a high roof transit van
in
all the way across the straight
whiteout snowstorm.
In a snowstorm where we decided it was more important to stop at 3 breweries on the way in the middle of a snowstorm. And we found out that Ford Transits, the windows, when you put 10 people in one of those vans, they all freeze up.
Yeah, it was
You
rough.
can't see out any of the windows, regardless of how hard you have the defrost going. So, probably a design flaw there. Well, it's Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving Eve. It's probably about time for us to hit the dusty trail.
Yep.
Rob,
Yes.
last thing before we leave, Thanksgiving. Is there anything just weird, wild, odd that you guys do as a family tradition for Thanksgiving? Something that your wife's family does that,
Sort of. So it's not necessarily a unique thing. I get extremely annoyed by the figuring out who's going to bring what when you do the gatherings.
Yes.
It can never just
Why
just
can't
be
it just
easy.
be easy?
Right. Like,
Right.
why doesn't the same person bring the same thing every year? And unless it sucks, and then we all just tell him, like, hey, that kind of sucks. You know what? He's going to make it next year.
Yep.
But it's like, every year it has to be this out of control clusterfuck of group chat arguments like, I'm going to make the cheesy potatoes. No, I'm making the potatoes. Okay, well, then I'm going to do the rice. Who's got the meat? Does anyone have dessert? Can you reach out to this person? And somehow it always ends up being like, there's a group chat where we should be putting it. But for whatever reason, everyone direct messages me before they put it in the group chat. So it's like, they're like, hey, is anybody bringing this? I'm like, I don't know. The group chat doesn't say so. Okay, I'm going to claim it. You think that's good? I'm like, sure, just put it in there. What's the worst? Like, what are you afraid of rejection? Like, you've been with these people your whole life. So yeah, just put it in there. Okay, they're bringing this. Cool. It's just always a frustrating mess, and it just can't be easy.
Dude, I agree wholeheartedly. I don't know why things have to be hard. There's always, and I don't want to make this like a man versus a woman thing, but it does seem like the women in like the extended family of every family are all like, well, geez, I don't want to offend Sally by saying that I want to bring this. Like, no, as a man, we're just like, hey, just fucking pick something and we'll figure it out, right?
Yeah, I actually did that this year. Like every year, Nicole's mom would make the cheesy potatoes, right? And they're good. They're good cheesy potatoes. I found a recipe for these fucking badass smoked cheesy hash browns,
Yes.
and they come out fucking amazing. And instead of like tiptoeing around it, I was just like, Lori, you cool with me doing hash browns? Like direct message.
Yeah,
She's like, sure. I'm like, cool.
Done.
I got it.
We got it. Yeah, see, it can be that easy, women. It can be that easy.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing...
Fuck your feelings. My hash browns are better, and it's going to be awesome.
The one thing... So every year we go to Nicole's grandmother's house for lunch, and then we just do a small thing with my parents for dinner. And one thing about Thanksgiving that a tradition... I'm used to turkey. Like... straight fucking turkey. You make a turkey and you cut it up and you eat the turkey, and you have gravy and mashed potatoes and just normal traditional Thanksgiving dinner, right?
Somebody suggest pizza or what?
No. For some reason, Nicole's family every year, they don't just make turkey. Turkey is you like do turkey, you do like pulled turkey in gravy. And I don't want it that way. I want to get a slab of turkey.
Yeah.
And I want to put gravy on top of it. I do not.
I want it to be dry on purpose, so
Yes.
the gravy can then
Absolutely.
moisten it. Right.
Exactly. I want to be able to put my gravy. I want to be able to put the amount of gravy that I want on top of my turkey.
Not this predetermined pile.
Correct. I want to choose whether I get like a slab of like dark turkey or a slab of white turkey. I don't want to have a conglomeration mix.
Yeah. I want to chew on the fucking bones too.
Absolutely. So that kind of I'm just like, man, I wish for some reason Nicole and her family, like they're offended by gravy. They don't like gravy is a thing that they don't like. Nicole will make mashed potatoes all the time and never makes gravy. And I'm like, can we just have gravy? Like, I don't even care if you don't want to make gravy. Can we just get like a jar of gravy?
Yes. Get it in jars specifically.
Also, you know what?
A decanter
You know
of
what?
gravy?
You know what I love about Thanksgiving?
Football?
Cranberry sauce.
Oh.
And when I say cranberry sauce, I don't want it to be actual sauce. I want it to be the jellied thing that you
comes
shake
out
up.
of the can.
Yes,
just bloop.
absolutely. You open one end of the can, you stabbed the other end, and you watch it slurp out.
Jiggle out of there,
Yep.
yeah.
And you cut a slice off of that thing and you eat it. It tastes like
Terrible.
candy. You don't like it?
I'm not a huge fan.
Me and my kids love jellied cranberry sauce, right? Nicole's morally opposed to it.
You ever just want to take the whole thing and just
Yes.
down it, just all in
Yeah.
one piece?
Fucking love I love just like
just a big gelatinized
can
goop of fruit.
Cranberry.
All right.
I'm all about that. For some reason, so when we were putting together our plan for our dinner here with my parents, she was like, you don't really want cranberries, do you? I'm like, well, listen, Nicole, your parents, your family's not going to have cranberries because you people are all like trying to be healthy and stuff. Like, I want a jar of cranberries, so we're having cranberries at my house.
Are they unhealthy? Like, aren't they actually just cranberries? Or is it?
No, I think it's very sugary. I don't think it's healthy.
So it's more
at
or
all.
less just like Jell-O.
No, it's terrible for you.
Okay.
But it's cranberries and it tastes good. Rick, what's your stance on cranberries?
I hate cranberries. Big
Sees with me. Not a fan.
Rick, is there anything that your family does that you judge as kind of like an odd thing compared to the traditional Thanksgiving stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not really odd. Listen to you guys. It sounds like you guys just associate with terrorists. I don't even know what's going on. No gravy. People can't even talk to each other about what they're bringing. I mean, what the hell's going on over there? We have normal like everybody brings the same stuff. People come to our house. We have turkey.
The way it should be.
We have ham. We have mashed potatoes. We have gravy. Some asshole brings cranberries, and yes, we have to put it on the table with a spoon in it in case somebody wants it. There's green bean casserole. All the normal shit. But you know what? You know what is ruining it though is football a little bit, because now there's so much football going on. What we used to love when I was, like a kid or growing up was like after the meal we would do Home Alone and Christmas Vacation after the Thanksgiving meal. And I don't care how old or young you are, when you're watching Home Alone and that guy goes to pull on that light to turn on the light in the basement and gets hit in the face with the iron, everybody just died laughing. And you just don't get that anymore now when there's just football going on all day long.
The blowtorch to the head.
We blowtorch to the head by Bad Sheep. So we put football in the basement on the other TV, and then we play the Home Alone, and we put the Christmas Vacation on the main TV with the speakers while we're drinking at the bar yet, and everybody gets a good kick out of what's going on. So that's our little tradition.
Yeah, I mean, with the obviously without the Packer game, you don't have to watch football. I mean, am I going to watch every second of the Giants-Cowboys game? Probably not.
No.
I might get a piece of the Bears-Detroit one just because it's divisional and interesting. But
I will say traditionally,
take it or leave it.
traditionally, since that Detroit game starts at like 11 o'clock, I traditionally watch like the first hour of that game. And then the Detroit's usually so miserable. I mean, this year's the exception. But Detroit's usually so miserable, you can kind of tune out to the second half of that game and not really tune in, like watch it vigorously until the second half of the Cowboys game. Because sometimes those games are good. And the night game, I'm going to be honest, I try to watch it, but I usually don't make it that far.
Ate so much you're racked out by like 5 or 6.
Like, you know what? You get home, you put the game on in the background, and you're just like, all right, yeah, whatever. It's over. Who cares?
I agree.
So, all right. Well, there you have it. That's our Thanksgiving 3-way episode. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you guys get gravy. I hope you guys have cranberries. Rob?
There won't be cranberries, but there will be gravy. Lots of it.
Rick, thank you for joining us here.
Are we going to do a live episode next week?
What's that?
Are we going to do a live 3-way next week on Sunday?
Well, I don't know how Oneida would
Special
like that.
episode?
So we had to move we should address that. We had to move our special Oneida rendezvous,
the birthday trip,
to the 8th, because Robert, you had some tragic happenings at the store.
Yeah, we had to let multiple employees go recently, which is crazy because we've had like the same employees forever, and there was just very extreme circumstances that I'm not going to broadcast publicly.
So can I ask, was one of the girls doing blow in the bathroom?
No.
Okay.
But
that was the only question I had. The last time I was there was a girl working, and she was vigorously sniffling and playing with her nose and over again.
She is one of the ones we let go. Whether or not she does blow, I can't say I know specifically, but yeah.
Well, HIPAA rules. We can't really
some
go into details here.
lifestyle changes going on that we noticed.
Whoa, lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
She's becoming a he?
Well, not quite that dramatic.
Okay, never mind.
Anyways, we had to let employees go. So, we're down to 2 employees besides like me. And
you're going to say 2 employees, me and my wife.
No, two non-Rush Low employees. And unfortunately, one of them had to back off on the December 1st, and Nicole's doing a pop-up out of town. So literally my store can't be open unless I work it. And as much as I like our Oneida trip, I'm not going to sacrifice the amount of income a Sunday being open would get us back.
So we're doing a 3-way on a Wednesday, and you're doing a pop-up on a Sunday.
That's
nice.
That's right. There's no shortage of sex jokes. But we did move it to the 8th. It sounds like everyone's on board. Jimmy's on board. You 2 are.
That's right.
Depri did loosely agree to the 1st. Hopefully I can keep him locked in for the 8th.
Depri loosely agrees to a lot of things.
I need Depri to be there so bad. I want to see him just panic him and walk around and pace about that place like, hey Kyle, I talked to this guy over here and he said he knew about a hockey game. We're gonna put that in with
there was this guy in aviators,
a women's figure skating match.
There's a guy wearing aviators and a red robe, and he told me
to go to his hotel. He'd just be a great addition to that.
We need a live post Oneida podcast.
So
a pop-up podcast.
Rob, yes. Do you still have your portable recorder?
I do. I have the whole shit.
So
it's all in a backpack too. I can put
Rob
it anywhere.
has a portable recording device. I think.
Should we just get a hotel room there and just go upstairs and record?
No, I'm kind of thinking along the lines of we should go to like Margaritas or something afterwards. I don't know what's near there. That's the only thing I could think of. We just go to like Margaritas or something afterwards and do just like a live recap.
We could make that happen. I got 4 headphone jacks in that thing. It would work.
We wouldn't need headphone jacks.
I mean, whatever, audio jacks.
Yeah, gotcha. So that's a possibility.
Just need condoms.
Yeah, lots of condoms.
Good night. God bless you, and don't forget to wear a rubber.
So we're moving that to the 8th. Anyone who wants to join us, you can. But the core four are going to be there: myself, Rob, Rick, and Hegner. Jimmy is going to make some more terrible bets and not quite understand what he's betting on.
That's why we love him.
But he's going to enjoy it. He's going to eat like a burrito bowl or something.
We're going to walk into that sports book thing like the guys from Tombstone, just like looking badass as fuck, scoping it out, and then it'll all descend from there into chaos. Like Tombstone.
I just hope Kyle Cash is bigger than me again, so he picks up the bar tab.
Yeah, that was great. Do that again, Kyle. Win some bets while we make the dumb ones so we can actually lean on someone to pay for everything.
So that worked out in my favor last year.
Some of those games were close, though. I remember we were sweating out, what was it, that Titans game or something like that?
It was the Colts.
Yeah, it was super close.
We sweat out that it came down to one of those games. The Colts game was overtime.
Yeah, we were freaking out. We were locked in on that.
That was pretty wild. It was fun winning money. I guarantee you I won't win this year.
No, I won a couple hundred out of a slot machine randomly.
Yeah, that was awesome. I gave him $20 and he won a couple $100. Right. Anyways, so that's the plan for next week. I'd like to thank you guys all for listening. It's been a fun year so far, and we're going to continue on. We're thankful for all of you guys in the league and everyone listening. I'm thankful for my wife for still being in the Guillotine League. I'm thankful that Rick is out of the Guillotine League. And Rob, any parting shots?
That's it. Gobble, gobble, bitches.
Rick?
Night.
All right. You guys all have a wonderful night, and Rick's theme song is going to take you out. It's a song by TJ Miller called Appleton.
Longitude 44 degrees, latitude 088 degrees. Northern Wisco, let's do this thing.
Apples to oranges, there's no way to compare. When I tell them the dopest city in Wisconsin, they all stare. Named after Samuel Appleton, founded 2 years after 1851. 72,000 is the population, only 0.99% African American. It's Green Bay, with class, Milwaukee, Madison, that's a girl I don't know any other cities. Hydroelectricity is what we're about. You can find me chilling out at the Hearthstone House. When the other cities step, you know they get served. A day trip to Blue Bulls, nature preserve. Badgers. Talking about that Northern Wisconsin shit. Ain't that Green Bay shit. Ain't even that Kenosha shit. Believe it. Believe it. Intersection of 41 and 10. You're at the capital of pussy in Wisconsin. Riding down that highway 441. My sausage makes a Polish connection. Smoke marijuana with Mayor Hannigan. Woozy crazy like the pro-lifer outside in doozies. Birthplace of fame, magician Houdini. Escape artistry, though I never want to leave. It's the one city I'd have a daughter or a son in. You think I'd raise a kid in Sheboygan? Fuck no! Dropping rhymes like an Appleton of bricks. Other cities can suck a big bag of dicks. Disco and Wisco, Packers always winners. Cheese curds, I eat the breakfast on your dinner! Sad FR, Big Fox, River Valley shit. Shout out to all the high schools, Appleton East, Northwest, Xavier High School, and Fox Valley Lutheran High School. It's like the worst of 4 or 5. Appleton, Wisconsin. Believe it.
Wait, you didn't go to Fox Valley, did you, Rick?
No, he's East.
Where did East land in the rankings there?
Patriot, man.
East was first, man. East was
was
the top.
We were number 1.
So that's why you like that song.
Yeah.
He probably went to school with the guy that wrote it.
You gotta love. I love TJ Miller, and I love the fact that TJ Miller has a song about Appleton.